Will Kevin take down beef stroganoff in Olympic frog jumping? We've got all the hottest animal Olympic action coming your way right now on your daily news refresh, including a porcupine taking on the so-called balance beam in Memphis, and the four-legged shredders vying for top spot in the World Dog Surfing Championship. My name is Greg Ott, and while much of the world remains transfixed on the human athletes at the 2024 Paris Games, getting sick after competing in the River Seine, three fine amphibians, the likes of which are no strangers to murky waters, just made major strides towards the bronze, silver, and gold at the Dusky Gopher Frog Olympics. This video comes to you out of the Memphis Zoo on Friday, where a podium made from boxes of exam gloves awaits a trio of amphibian athletes. These competitors in the 2024 Dusky Gopher Frog Olympics are among what the Memphis Zoo describes as some of the finest hoppers in the world. And with names like Beef Stroganoff, Big Chonky, and Kevin, can you blame them? Before a full stand of paper frog faces, Stroganoff, Chonky, and Kevin each make their way across the stapled down playing field, with jumping sticks and glove-ensconced hands on site to encourage the formidable frogs to make their athletic leaps towards the end of a long ruler. In spite of the logo, this event in Tennessee does not appear to be an official competition of the 2024 Paris Games, but it is part of a joint research collaboration between the zoo's amphibian team and a biologist with Rhodes College, with the zoo writing on Facebook that they had these frogs jump to see how a change in environment may impact their locomotion. Ahead of the competition, some frogs were released into an outdoor pond enclosure, while others remained in an indoor enclosure. And the research team ultimately analyzed their jumping ability, total distance jumped, endurance, length, and height of jumps to spot differences among the frogs between these two enclosure spaces. The idea is to see what changes these frogs might go through after being released into the wild via the zoo's reintroduction program. As their website notes, Dusky Gopher frogs are a critically endangered species native to the southeastern USA, and they say there are only about 250 of them left in the wild, and only about 600 of them in captive zoological institutions. And when they're not busy battling it out in an office supplies Olympic-style competition, they're being cared for, bred, and ultimately released back into new wild populations, as the zoo says it's helped do for the past 20 years. Back at the main event, the hard-working judges awarded Big Chonky the third-place position, scored Kevin the second spot, and vaulted Beef Stroganoff into the frog jumping record books with a gold medal first-place finish. Of course, none of these medals actually look to be made out of real gold, silver, or bronze, and ever the poor sport, Big Chonky leapt off the podium upon the presentation of Stroganoff's top finish. Be better, Beef. Frogs weren't the only creatures making a dry splash this past week over in Memphis, as the zoo also released this compilation of several of its other animal friends presenting their own Olympic-style routines. The Memphis Zoo wrote on social media that these creatures were so inspired by the men's and women's Team USA Gymnastics, they decided to show off their own beauty, grace, and poise. Here's a porcupine on the balance beam, a sloth on the parallel bars, a sea lion taking on a quote-unquote floor exercise, some goats on the log balance, and some various gibbons and orangutans tightrope walking, vaulting and tumbling, and, well, something else that just can't be described. In the Instagram comments, ML_Ramsey said, "Very clever and so much talent. Love face emoji." Memtown 901 awarded 5 individual medals, and Keo Casey wrote, "Rings." The post of these animal athletes also highlighted that the Memphis Zoo was just nominated for Best Zoo in Newsweek's Reader's Choice Awards. And while a winner is yet to be announced, it's safe to say that any of these acrobats would be honored to be officially recognized by a very old magazine. Finally, moving from Tennessee to Northern California, it's time for dog surfing.
So we're at the World Dog Surf Championship 2024, and it's actually crazy. We're here in Pacifica, and there's so many people. This is like the best dog surf competition I've ever judged and seen in my lifetime.
Powerful words from one of this year's dog surfing judges, who was on site Saturday to critique these carving canines in a competition that's been going on since 2006. Though Spuds McKenzie has been hanging 20 out west since at least 1987.
I'm kind of judging dog surfing, basically like regular surfing. I'm judging it on the waves they do, if they're staying on the board long enough, how long they can manage to hold their balance, and just everything like that.
In addition to the distance of the rides, judges also awarded bonus points for style. And when you've got goggles like that, it's no surprise that posh pups are finding people in the crowd to make out with.
A lot of these dogs just love water. They just love being in the water.
That's a lifeguard on duty at the event, observing how surfing dogs, well, surf.
Some of the dogs, they even have their chew toys attached to the end of their boards, and they'll like drag the board in the water, want to be out there. It's just a lot of fun for them. And I think it's also a lot of the balancing. You know, you can see them like kind of feeling the wave.
As you know, French Bulldogs don't surf and or swim. They usually kind of sink. This one's an overachiever. I got myself an overachiever.
That's the owner of a competitor, noting why dogs like his are outfitted with life jackets like the one that makes his resemble a pink shark.
So first of all, it's all about safety. You know, then once you get them used to it in the pool, I believe it was our journey in the pool, and then transition to the ocean, lake, towed behind the boat. So that's kind of that was our journey.
Proceeds for this annual event benefit local animal rescue groups. And according to the official results at surfdogchampionships.com, the competition's top 3 overall champs were dogs named Delilah, Sugar, and Cacao.
I mean, everybody loves dogs. Or at least everybody should love dogs. And I think here it's just dogs doing something that's kind of quite different in a way. But also people love the ocean. And I think when you put the two together, it's just really, really cool.
You know what else is really cool? Subscribing to @the News Refresh, where we put out new, weird, and interesting news videos like these each and every day. Rough, rough.